so let's begin the show and let's talk about having a succession plan in place. But then before that, let's understand the various aspects of, having a succession plan and why is it important. I have with me Mrin Agrawal, financial educator and founder FinSafe. Mrin, good evening and welcome to the show. So let me start with a very basic question. Looking at the unclaimed amount that's been lying as far as various investment instruments are concerned, this really raises the need to have a succession plan in place. But having said that, it is a gray area for a lot of investors because they do not understand the importance of it, and a lot of time, even if one is aware of having a succession plan, they don't know how to go about it. Is there one formula or one formula fit all kind of a method to have a succession plan? Can we say that?
Kavita, it's lovely to be on the show today. There are some very simple things that can be followed by everybody. So to that extent, it's easy. But of course, the way each person does their things is going to be different. So that's what I would say.
Right, Mrin. So how to go about it? What are the things that, because we're talking about individual succession plan, we're not talking about having a succession plan for your business, etc. Because that's a different conversation and a topic altogether to be taken on the show. But then talking about individuals, we are just talking about investments over here. We are just talking about the financial trajectory that you might want to pass on and be careful on. What all does it include and involve?
All right. So first and foremost, when you want to do succession planning or estate planning, it is really about figuring out how you want to pass on these assets to your legal heirs or to the people that you want to intend it to go to, right? So the best way to do this is, of course, through a will. Because a will is a document that supersedes everything. And, once you write a will, you are basically saying that these are my wishes and this is the way I want my assets to go. Now, if you don't write a will, then the Indian Succession Act is going to apply. And then what happens is it goes to various people, but that may not be the wish of the individual, right? So the best way to do succession planning is, of course, having that will in place, which will basically mention what your assets are and who your legal heirs are and in what proportion this amount is, these assets are going to go to the various legal heirs. So that's I would say that is the best way to go about things. And there's a lot of myths around nomination. So many people feel that if I have done nomination, why do I actually need to write a will? But you must remember that nominee is the custodian of a person's wealth and is responsible to get all the monies and then give it to the legal heir. So a nominee may not be a legal heir. A nominee is just a caretaker of a person's wealth, but the legal heir is the person who is going to be the owner of a person's asset post that person's demise. So we must understand these differences. And one of the reasons that we're seeing so much of unclaimed amounts is because of the fact that people, have not had a will in place. And of course, in many cases, the family members are not aware of the assets as well. So I would say that this is a good short way of succession planning.
Yeah, but then a lot of legal aspect also involved in it. When you're talking about making a will, how does one go about it, and how do you make sure that it's also a legal tender? We have a lot of online platforms these days providing you with this service, and also in a way helping you make your will and have the right kind of nominees attached to your financial instruments or your investments. But how does one go about it? Making a will, how can you have to go to the lawyer? Can you do it online? If it's done online, is it a legal tender? What if it's challenged later on in court? How can one go about it?
Yeah. So the first thing is that I would always say that it's better that you meet a lawyer and discuss with the lawyer and have the lawyer draft it, because they would draft it in the right legal language. And Kavita, many times we just, especially when you look at nuclear families, you think it's very easy. I'll just pass it on to the rest of the family members. But it's only when you go and you meet the lawyer and start discussing that, things become clearer. Like, for example, do you want, like, for you and your spouse, for example, do you want a joint will? Do you want a mirror will? There are many possibilities. Or does each person want to have their own will? And then, how you want to bequeath the assets. All of these things becomes better when you discuss with a lawyer. Also, we have to remember that digital signatures are not accepted. So, whatever it is, like, you have to create the will on a piece of paper and you need to sign it. There needs to be wet ink on it. And the will doesn't need to be mandatorily registered. Of course, by registering the will, you are increasing the authenticity of the will. But that said, any individual desirous of making a will can write it on a blank piece of paper in any language that they are comfortable with. And the important thing is that there need to be two witnesses signing the will. Now, what goes inside the will, right? So inside the will, the first thing that you're going to mention is going to be all the assets that you want to bequeath. So your immovable property, your vehicles, your investments, gold, for example. You'll also have to mention about your bank accounts and your insurance policies as well. And other things that are precious to you. So for example, if you have any, valuable books or, valuable artifacts, paintings, for example, or for example, if you have intellectual property rights, if you have a share in a business, you have to mention what is going to happen to that share in the business after you, right? Are you going to give it to someone? Do you want the, if it's a proprietorship, for example, do you want the business to be closed? So all of these things have to be mentioned. Now, very importantly, of course, you need to mention who are your legal heirs and in what proportion they are going to get these particular funds. And also a couple of things, especially, in light of what we saw in COVID, where in cases where both the parents passed away and they were orphan children. So in case if you have minor children, you also have to mention about who's going to be the guardian of the child in case of the unfortunate death of both the parents. So this is how a will is created. So just to again reiterate, on a blank paper, you can do it with the help of a lawyer. It's not mandatory to be registered, but it'll be good to be registered. And of course, 2, 3 things that you have to mention in the will: details of all your assets. And, for things like gold jewelry, for example, you really need to detail it out in terms of, what is the ornament, how many grams is it, and all of that. And you need to mention the legal heirs. And I forgot to mention, you also need to mention the executor to the will, who is the person who's going to be carrying out the wishes of the will on the demise of the individual.
Right. So succession planning, a very important aspect of your entire investment plan, investment strategy, and best way to pass on your assets. I think, Amrin, you've covered all the major points, and thank you so much for being on the show today with that and, breaking it down so clearly for our viewers today. Thank you so much. Time for a quick break, but then post that I'll be joined by Kirtan Shah, who will be answering your portfolio queries. And just in case you're watching the show live and want to send across your question like right now, you can do that on our WhatsApp number. We'll be flashing this number on the screen, 8657974571. The email ID is themoneyshow@etnow.tv. So a quick break and post that live question answer session with our viewers.